What is happening, you wonderful people? So earlier I got a chance to watch the first episode of Daredevil Born Again Season 2, and in this series, when Mayor Wilson Fisk implements his Safer Streets protocol to outlaw vigilantism and hunt heroes, Matt Murdock works from the shadows after the death of Foggy Nelson with Karen Page to combat this corruption. That's all I can say without giving too much away. Let's talk about it. So Daredevil Born Again Season 2, when it comes to this season and when it comes to the Daredevil series as a whole, I really enjoyed Daredevil Season 1. Daredevil Born Again Season 1 last year, I know people were kind of mixed on it. A lot of people were kind of mixed on it. There were people that liked it. There were people that really did enjoy it, like myself. But also there were some people that were just okay with it. And I really liked it. It's not one of the best seasons of television. It's not. But in terms of like the multiverse saga with the movies and shows and all that, I definitely think it's up there. It's definitely up there. It's probably my top 10 multiverse projects. It's not probably top 5, but it's definitely up there. And I know people really were mixed on season 1, but I loved how they threw you right back into it. I love how they threw you right back into this world, right back into this corner of the MCU, and just throwing you back into the MCU as a whole. And I love how they took big, bold swings with it being technically rated R and very violent and bloody and all that type of stuff with the gore and how grotesque it was and just the violence as a whole. They took bold swings, especially with it being technically the first rated R MCU project. They took some risks, and those risks paid off in a way. They did. They never held back on the gore. They never held back on the violence. They never held back on the bone crushing. It was all in your face. And so with season 2, I haven't really been on the hype train. I've been excited about it. I have, but I haven't been like on the full like hype train like everybody else. And when they released the trailer, I was like, you know what? I'm now hooked. I loved the song that they played in the trailer. I love just the vibe and the tone and just the way it looked. And it looked a lot better than season 1. And that's coming from someone who really did enjoy season 1. But that's coming from someone who, even though I did like season 1, I even know it's not the best Marvel show ever. Even I know it's not one of the best seasons of television ever. It's not perfect. It definitely has its flaws. It does. And it was kind of odd that they released a few more trailers like today, I think, and then a couple weeks ago they did, but they really didn't have a full official trailer for this season. And I think this is the first Marvel project that doesn't have like a actual official trailer. They had a teaser trailer, and that teaser trailer they released for this season, the show, was pretty good. And as a diehard Marvel fan, as someone who's always really liked Daredevil, I've loved Marvel ever since I was little, and I've loved Daredevil ever since I was little. After watching this first episode, it's a totally fine first episode, and it's a totally fine introduction to this new season. So if you're new to my channel, or if you've been following my channel for a while, you know that I like to talk about my positives first, then my negatives next. But even when I need to be negative, I will be positive, and even when I need to be positive, I will be negative as well. And overall, with the first episode of Daredevil Born Again Season 2, it's a totally fine introduction to this new season. It's a totally fine pilot and first episode into this new season. It's not the greatest episode of television ever. It's not the worst episode of television ever. It's not the best episode of any Marvel television show ever. It's not the worst Marvel television episode ever. It's really not. But I still found some things that I really did enjoy about it. There are some good things about it. Right when the episode opens, they throw you right back into this world, right back into this part of the MCU, this corner of the MCU, this part of the world that you've known about since 2008, since you've been watching since 2008. And I love that they did that. And they're not afraid to throw you right in the middle of the action. They're not afraid to throw you into this just brutal and chaotic opening. Like right when it opens, they throw you right into it. And I don't mind that. Obviously, I love good action. And when it comes to Daredevil, you know you're going to get over the top, just bonkers, crazy, bone-crushing, blood splatter type action. And they're not afraid to throw you right in the middle of the action. The opening scene is brutal and intense and bloody. We see someone's arm break, and you're like, man, Give me a minute. Give me a minute. That's crazy. I love action, and the action we did get in this episode and in the opening scene was great. But man, it's not a bad thing, but they throw you right into it, and you're like, man, they are not afraid to throw you into it. They waste no time at all. And I think that the action sequences are honestly better in here than they were in season 1. The action sequences in season 1 were great. They were. But I feel like so far in here, just in this episode, let alone episode 1, they definitely stepped it up. They stepped it up in that area. It's more intense, bloody, it's more gory, it's more grotesque, it seems like. And this is just episode 1. I'm telling y'all, we have 7 more episodes to go. Seriously, we have a lot more episodes to go. And this is just episode 1. But it's pretty brutal. It's pretty grotesque, and when it comes to Daredevil, that's what we all want. That's what we all want, right? And I love the overall vibe and aesthetic and how this episode was directed. I really did. Like, I love the aspect ratio shifts in here. It was really, really cool. And it was just a really good looking episode. I love how the camera moved in here, especially with Matt or Daredevil's like senses when the aspect ratio change hit, like the shifts. I love that in here. I love how they did it in season 1. I thought that was great how they did that in season 1. But I love how they did that in here as well. Especially the one we get in the opening scene, and it's good to see Matt again along with Karen. I love their relationship and chemistry. I do. And Kingpin is in here. He's more menacing than ever, and you actually fear him in here. You do, and you feel his aura. And I love that the first scene that we get with him in here is the camera's behind him, and he's walking up to like this dock, and you see like the ship in the like background, or not background, but like in front of him sinking in the ocean. And just the way he was walking, just Vincent D'Onofrio's performance as Kingpin, the aura is unmatched, and you just feel how menacing and just how insidious he is. And I love that we actually get a very solid and grounded tone in here. We did in season 1. I feel like in season 1 there was a very unique and distinct tone, and they stuck with that gritty, dark tone. And in here we get that again. We do the tone in season 1 didn't feel all over the place. It felt grounded and steady. And in here, it feels steady and focused as well. It does. That being said, while there are some good things I just named in this episode, in this season so far, overall, I thought it was a fine episode. I thought it was just an overly, totally fine episode. Nothing horrible, nothing great, just in the middle. It was just fine. It was okay. I'm not feeling all in on the overarching story just yet. I'm not, and I know it's just the first episode. I know we have a lot more episodes to go. We have 7 more episodes to go, but you want a show like this to hook you. And I know I always talk for movies and shows. I always talk about how a hook is the most important thing in filmmaking. It is. Whether it's a TV show, whether it's a movie, a hook is the most important thing. And so far, I didn't feel like I got hooked in this episode. I've heard that this episode and episode 2 are both okay, but when you get to episode 3, it starts to pick up, which I hope is true. And I'm excited to see episode 2 next week. I'm excited to see how it is and my thoughts on it, and I'm excited to see episode 3 with how good it's gonna be, because I hear it's the best episode, so I'm looking forward to that. And I definitely felt like this episode dragged a little bit here and there. It did drag a little bit, and I definitely felt myself getting bored and getting on my phone a little bit. I was on my phone a little bit, I was getting a little antsy and a little bored. And this episode felt a little too chaotic. Like there was so much going on, and it felt like it didn't know what it really wanted to do or what it really wanted to say. And Matthew Lillard's in here, and he's a standout in here. He was great, and it was cool to see him. But overall, so far, it just felt like something was lacking, and I can't figure out what it was, but something, just maybe it was the vibe, and just it kind of felt like it had maybe a little bit of it has its own artistic flair. But in this episode, it just kind of felt like it had kind of like a sort of blandness to it. And like I said, I know this is the first episode, it is, and we have a whole season ahead of us. I know I said that earlier, but you really do want a good hook, and I didn't quite get that in this episode, unfortunately, sadly. So yeah, overall, with the first episode of Daredevil Born Again Season 2, it was a totally fine first episode. It was a totally fine introduction to this new season, and as a Daredevil fan, as a Marvel fan, as someone who saw the trailer for this new season and was like, hey, this looks really good, and as someone who thoroughly enjoyed season 1 last year, even though it wasn't perfect. I'm hoping that this episode picks up. So with the first episode of Daredevil Born Again season 2, I will give this episode a 3.5 out of 5 stars. And I will say with the first episode of Daredevil Born Again season 2, I will say dedicate your time. I'll still say dedicate your time. If you like season 1, if you're a Daredevil fan, if you're a Marvel fan in general, and if you were looking forward to season 2, I think you might enjoy it. Maybe. So that'll wrap up this video. Thank y'all so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, like, comment, share this video. We just hit 1K subs a while back. We're now 1.3K. And the next big milestone is 2K and 3K after that. Beyond that as well. If you're new as well, I do movie reviews, TV show reviews, trailer reactions, movie live streams, movie news, movie rankings, all that wonderful movie stuff under the movie umbrella. And let's talk about the comments down below. Did you like this first episode? Did y'all not like this first episode? Are y'all gonna watch season 2? Are y'all not gonna watch season 2? Let's talk about it down below. Keep talking movies, wonderful people. Cheers.